Holy.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call to order the Board of Trustees regular meeting for February 24th, 2026. Clerk Hall, can I have the roll call, please?
Yep. Trustee Hall, present. President Mayberry.
Here.
Trustee Dr. Nicolette.
Good afternoon.
Trustee Phoenix.
Present.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Westlake.
Here.
Vice President Woodley.
Here.
Student Trustee Hartley.
Here.
All members accounted for. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Clerk Hall. We'll now move to item 1.03, the Pledge of Allegiance. May I ask Chief Baker to lead us in the pledge this afternoon?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Good to see you. 1.04 is our land acknowledgement. That will be read by Vice President Woodley today.
Thank you, Mr. President. We acknowledge that Washoe County School District schools and communities are situated on the traditional homelands of the three major tribes of the Great Basin Native American peoples, including the Northern Paiute, Washoe, and Shoshone tribes. We honor their ancestors, past and present, and recognize these lands as a continued gathering place for communities. We express our respect and gratitude for the opportunity to live, work, and learn here in Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Okay, just one note before we move on. Because winter decided to come in 1 week last week, we did not have an opportunity for our zoning commission to meet, so we are going to pull item 3.04 from the agenda today, and we will place that on the March 10th agenda for consideration. So I do anticipate a relatively short meeting today. We will move to item 2, our consent agenda items. Item 2.01 is approval of consent agenda items 2.02 through 2.18. I know there were some questions, and I think many have been resolved, but I believe we are going to pull item 2.07. Trustee Nicolette has asked to pull 2.07, so we'll go ahead and do that. Any other trustees like to pull any other consent items? Okay. Let's go ahead and call for public comment.
I have no cards for these items.
Thank you, BJ. So I am looking for a motion at this time to approve consent agenda items 2.02
Sorry.
through.
To about 2.07 Encompass Academy.
It's going to be pulled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, let me restate that. I am looking for the board to approve the consent agenda items 2.02 through 2.06 and 2.08 through 2.18.
I'll make the motion. Thank you, President Mayberry. I move that the Board of Trustees approves consent agenda items 2.02 through 2.06 and 2.08 through 2.18.
Okay, do I have a second?
And I'll second that.
Okay, so I do have a motion to approve items 2.02 through 2.06 and 2.08 through 2.18. Any further comments? Yes, Clerk Hall.
Yes, thank you. I have a comment that I just want to mention on item 2.02 that I just want to give a shout out to our facilities crew for getting this on here. If anybody has had a chance to see our incredible aviation academy, they maybe have seen that there's about 30 classrooms plus 2 simulators, and the classroom was very, very, very warm. So I appreciate the expediency which this item has come to us in getting that approved and getting that on the agenda. So I just wanted to give a shout out to facilities for that. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Hall. Trustee JJ Phoenix.
Yeah, just on 2.03, just making sure that safety first, safety always as we do construction. If we're having in school, we'll make sure that we're out there reaching out to the community, letting them know we're doing these things, we got traffic, stuff like that. So I just want to make sure that as we construct and we're continuing to do FMP things, that we are definitely making sure that it's always safe. Communicating that with the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, trustee Phoenix. Okay, seeing no further comments, we have a motion on the floor. The second, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries unanimously. We're going to hear 2.07. This is the approval of the annual charter school performance monitoring of Encompass Academy Charter High School and finding the school is partially compliant with the terms and conditions of its charter agreement. I believe we have I'll be out here, please. Rochelle, yeah, thank you. Hey, guys. Nice to see you.
Good
Apologize.
to see you as well. Good afternoon, Superintendent Ernst,
Rochelle Proctor, yeah.
President Mayberry, and Board. I'm here to represent 2.07, and we do have, since it is in regarding Encompass Academy, we do have their representative here in the audience, Kristen Boucher, to respond to any questions that I can't answer.
Good afternoon. I'm Kristen Boucher. I'm the data coach at Encompass Academy. Can you hear me now? Oh, sorry, thank you. My name is Kristen Boucher. Good afternoon. I am the data coach at Encompass Academy. I want to apologize. Autumn Kahn, our principal, could not be here today. He is traveling to New York for a school leadership conference, and we found that very important. We wanted him to continue to travel and participate. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I did prepare a little something kind of talking about some of our non-compliance, if you would approve me to read it.
Okay, thank you, Dean Busher, for coming. Trustee Nicolette, why don't you go ahead and answer the questions?
Hello, welcome.
Thank you.
Please relax. This is really about trying to understand some of the nuances of the non-compliance. It's a small document, and I like having the expert here. I've been to Encompass Academy many times to
Yes,
visit.
thank you.
And so this is not a judgment time. This is a trying to collect information and understanding time, and I mean that sincerely.
Absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity
You
to
bet.
be able to discuss it.
Would you like to share first, or would you like me to question whatever makes you most comfortable?
Would it be okay if I read what I have first?
Please.
It might answer some of your questions.
Yeah.
So again, thank you all for the opportunity to speak to the audit findings. As a leadership team, I want you to know that we take full responsibility for the areas identified as non-compliant and partially compliant. In reviewing the audit, what's clear is that the majority of these findings were not due to a lack of meeting requirements, but rather gaps in timely submission, communication, and internal follow-through. In other words, this is a systems issue, not a capacity or competency issue. Several of the areas of non-compliance were the result of missed deadlines or delayed responses to requests. That highlighted for us that we need stronger internal systems for tracking compliance tasks, assigning ownership, and ensuring that deadlines are met consistently. I want to specifically talk about the HR-related findings. All of our full-time teachers are appropriately licensed. The non-compliance in this area was due to a required spreadsheet not being submitted on time, not because our staff do not meet licensure requirements. When we tried to submit it late, that was not possible, unfortunately. We also had a partial compliance finding related to emergency drills, specifically the lockdown drill. When we recognized that this had not yet been completed within the required timeline, we made a deliberate decision not to rush the process. This is a critical safety procedure, and we want to ensure that our staff are fully trained, expectations are clear, and the drill is conducted with fidelity. Rather than completing a rushed or incomplete drill, we are focused on implementing it correctly and ensuring it becomes a consistent and well-executed practice. That said, we do recognize timelines matter, and we are addressing that directly. Moving forward, we are strengthening our internal systems by establishing clear ownership for all compliance-related tasks, setting internal deadlines ahead of state or district deadlines, and implementing a centralized system to track all required submissions and documentation. In addition, we are reinforcing expectations across our team that timely responses to email requests and compliance-related responsibilities are non-negotiable. This is an area of focus for us, and we are actively working to ensure consistency and accountability. Overall, these findings have been helpful in identifying where our systems need to be stronger. We are confident that with these adjustments, we will be fully compliant moving forward and better positioned to meet all expectations consistently.
Thank you. It's like you read my mind and you read my notes.
Well, when Rochelle said what we were meeting here for, I had suspicions about what you would ask.
Wonderful. That's wonderful, and I'm not surprised at all. You hit the HR, thank you. Timely matter systems. I love that you recognize that it's a systems. Your academics, I know, are very strong. Your attendance, you've done a wonderful job on improving attendance, and we know that's a challenge. As far as the emergency, I was thinking about that because this is an area I really appreciate and respect the work behind. It's got to be very difficult to do lockdowns and drills when you're in a larger building.
Yes,
and how
in a Boys and Girls Club.
Right. How I am wondering, how do you coordinate that?
So the Boys and Girls Club staff, anybody who's working there participates in our drills. We have originally had drills on, they have pickleball in there a couple days a week. And so we have had to rearrange things and rearrange timelines in order to make we can't evacuate all the pickleballers for a fire drill, that interferes with them, and we want to be welcoming to the members of our community at Encompass, as well as in partnership with the Boys and Girls Club. So now, like I said, Autumn attends a safety meeting every third Wednesday or something like that at the 9th Street location, and he works with Boys and Girls Club from all over the area to discuss safety concerns. This has been a hot topic there because we have to make sure, again, that we are conducting the drills properly, and that means that everybody in the building, if we need to evacuate or need to shelter in place or something, is participating in that. So there has been some snafus and things like that we've had to work through, like I said, pickleball being one of them, but now we have it dialed in, and we were scheduled to do the lockdown drill last week, actually, and then with the snow, that didn't happen. So we want to make sure, especially with the drill that's this sensitive and that sometimes scares students, that we are taking it very seriously, ensuring that everybody's safe, and ensuring that not only are our teachers prepared, but the Boys and Girls Club staff is prepared for what that looks like as well.
Wow. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I know that Mike Worm and his team are very in tune to the importance of this, and what a challenge that it would be. And we know students come and go as well.
Yes.
And that kind of exacerbates the need to have everybody understand what's going on, which is a feat in and of itself. And to this, because I really appreciate that you came so well prepared and recognize, you read my mind. I don't know what any other way to say it, but I wanna share some of the good things too.
Fantastic.
That I think are extremely important. I found that the counseling, student health services are top notch, and I saw that when I was there.
I'm glad.
Yes, me too. Thank you for taking care of our most precious gifts. And then you had commendations on English and mathematics, which we know are two top academic challenges in today's educational system.
Yes, and we want to continue to focus on increasing ACT scores and scores across all of our tests.
Yeah, well, we're in line with that. We are all on the same page on that one. And I do want to recognize that, I want to thank you again for recognizing it's a systems approach here. And you have such strong systems, your internal audit and finance systems. Of course, you have someone on your board who's very strong in that area.
Yes.
And then your student accounting, that's a heavy load. And I really appreciate that you brought this all together, and please thank Adam Khan for me.
Absolutely.
I wish that he could be here, and thank you for your time, and Thank you for all that you do for our students, you and the Encompass Academy team.
Thank you so much. We are proud to be supported by the school district.
Yes. If I may, President, I would like to make a motion.
Sure.
Okay. All right, I gotta find my paper and get this out. Right here. All right. I move that the Board of Trustees approves the charter performance monitoring for Encompass Academy Charter School as partially compliant.
Second.
Okay, great. We have a motion to approve item 2.07. Nicolette, second by trustee Smith. Any other further comments, questions? Do we need public comment on this?
Have no cards for this item.
Great, okay. Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank
Boucher. And Ms. Proctor, Ms. Proctor, thank you for all the work you've done as well. I apologize, I can't multitask very well, so I'm sorry I mangled your name earlier today. But thank you for the work you're doing with our charters. We appreciate it. I do want to make an announcement. Our streaming service is a little choppy, but we're going to stay the course with our meeting. But we are having some technical difficulties in the air. Okay. Okay, colleagues, we'll move to Section 3 of the agenda, items for presentation, discussion, information, and/or action. Item 3.01 is a proclamation that we are going to present. It's a proclamation honoring February 2026 as Love the Bus Month in the Washoe County School District. With us, we have presenters Adam Searcy, our Chief Operation Officer. I believe Scott Lee, Director of Transportation, is in the room too. We wanted to honor our bus drivers and all those in transportation services. Some members behind this dais, most of them got the memo, but I asked all of them to wear some form of yellow, so thank you for doing that. You know, yellow is a universal color of our school buses. Yeah, there's different shades of yellow, right? I see a few in the audience as well wearing yellows. Thank you. But yellow is a universal color of our school buses. You can't miss the school buses across this country and here at home. They're small, medium, and large, and they support all of our kids with special needs, kids that can't get to school because they don't have transportation. So we wanted just to take a moment to honor and recognize all of our bus drivers. So I'll turn it over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Adam Searcy, Chief Operating Officer, for the record. Tremendous introduction. I embarrassingly missed the memo myself. There are many shades of yellow. Everyone looks lovely today. But notably, there is only one shade of yellow school bus. It is capitalized yellow, and it is prescribed in law. The school buses are school bus yellow. But that is this month. I love the introduction and want to try to slant this towards the role of our transportation department team members as essential partners in our educational team. So that team consists, the transportation department, of over 400 dedicated professionals that work in our transportation department. Astonishingly, I love to quote these statistics, on a daily basis transporting nearly 20,000 humans to and from school on a daily basis, and in doing so, traversing over 22,000 miles a day. It's just astonishing to me. Most of us won't put that many miles on our own vehicles in a year. These are our drivers. These are often the first and last experience that our students have with the WCSD on every day, and that is an impact that is embraced, not far from lost. That is very important to each and every one of those folks. Behind our drivers and aides on the buses is an essential supporting team, a dedicated workforce, including dispatchers, mechanics, trainers, and other administrators who also play an essential role in the safety and reliability, the service of that team. You mentioned about, the service that they provide in terms of getting to and from school. That transportation service provides access. I want to also highlight, what it goes along with that, not only the meals, but also the activities, the experiences, the friendships that are formed and evolve on those buses. That team is an essential part of that entire experience for all of our students. I also want to mention that while these traditions are deeply ingrained in public education culture in our transportation department, it is always a work in progress, whether it's investments in our people in the form of training and compensation, whether it's investments into our infrastructure in terms of technology or just new buses and soon to be completely reconstructed, efficient, modern central transportation yard. All of this is coming together to serve our students. The same basic mission, knowing that every student that rides on our buses is received by not only a trusted adult behind that wheel, but an entire team of professionals working to ensure that safety and reliability of that experience. So our team is led by our director, Scott Lee. Scott Lee, I could give a lengthy introduction, but suffice to say, he has worn nearly every hat that the transportation department has to offer in his professional career, and sometimes many of them in one single day. I want to give the floor over to Scott for a couple of remarks on his team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Searcy. Welcome, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Adam. Good afternoon, everyone. Scott Lee, Director of Transportation. I have the privilege to lead this team of transportation professionals. They are absolutely so amazing to be able to work with them day in and day out and see what they do and see their dedication and level of support for our students. Last year, they drove over 4.9 million miles. So they are out and about. They're out before dawn, they're out after sunset, delivering our students all throughout the valley, and in Incline and in Gerlach. And this is something that they do not take lightly. They don't take lightly their connection with students. They realize the impact, they realize that those are the first and last points of contact, and they take that seriously. Often, annually, we'll bid routes. Drivers bid on their routes, and PTAs bid on their routes, people transportation assistants. Often, they'll bid on the same route that they bid on the previous year. Not because it's a new bus, not because it's easy, not because they do it because they can see the students. They can follow the students through their progress year after year after year and maintain that connection. And that's very, very important. They want to see them grow. They want to see them succeed. And our staff is invested in our students. And that's all of our staff. Most of the time we're discussing bus drivers, which are 3/4 of our staff. But we also have a huge portion, 48 actually, of pupil transportation assistants that work on special education buses, helping assist students with monitoring. We also have our fleet and maintenance division, dispatch, training, excursions, routing and logistics, our supervisors and managers, and our SPED division. There are a lot of people behind the scenes making this happen every day too. And all of those also have commercial driver's license. So they're often bus drivers as well. Today we've got two members of our special education team here. Celeste Arnold as our special education and programs manager, and Baruch Torres, special education technician. You guys stand up, please. Celeste oversees, she's been with us for 15 years and oversees the daily operations of our SPED division and is involved in every aspect from IEP meetings to continuous training of our staff. She also drives bus, transports students whenever needed to. Baruch has been with us for 14 years, and he's our sped technician. He focuses on all of the equipment. We have wheelchairs, we have car seats, we have star seats, we have oxygen tanks, we have all sorts of gadgets that go on our special needs buses. And he maintains all of those. He will go out when there's a problem, and with a wheelchair, a student has a problem with a wheelchair, he'll try to fix it. If he can't, he'll work with our partners at Care Chest or some other organization to be able to get a temporary replacement. These two and the entire team is just amazing what they will do for our students. And I'm truly honored to be able to acknowledge them publicly and be able to thank the team for what they do on a daily basis. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lee, and thank you, Celeste and Baruch, for coming and spending a few moments with us. Appreciate your service and all you do for our students. At this time, I'd like to, board members have any comments before we have Trustee Nicolette? Trustee Smith, go ahead.
I do. I don't know how your team does this. I drive around 2 boys, and sometimes they're friends, and I think that that's a lot. I had the pleasure of chaperoning my younger son's field trip to the museum downtown, and I was in complete awe of how this bus driver went through all the safety procedures, the expectations for the kids. They all listened, we had fun. It's just absolutely remarkable, and you have my appreciation. To have the responsibility of so many of our young lives on these roadways, and not just because you're responsible for the bus, but also being aware of all the drivers around you, is an incredible gift. And you have my personal gratitude and recognition that you play such an important role in welcoming our kids every day, saying goodbye to them every day, and really being a trusted adult that bookends their experience every single day with the Washoe County School District. So thank you.
Superintendent Ernst.
Thank you, President Mayberry, Baruch, Celeste, and Scott. Just want to thank you for being here. It's important that we recognize the work that you do. It is very important work. I've had a chance to work with all of you throughout the years, and the professionalism, the dedication that you show, the commitment to our students is palpable in the work that you do. So I just wanted to, on behalf of Washoe County School District, say how much we respect the work you do and how much we appreciate the work you do. So thanks to each of you.
Thank you, Superintendent Ernst. Student Representative Hartley, good afternoon.
I just want to say on behalf of the students, thank you so much. You are the first and the last faces that we see during the school day, and like our sports teams always ride on the buses to and from games. And it's just, we're eternally grateful for how you keep us safe and how you're always a friendly face to see. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and have Trustee Nicolette.
She's lighting up.
Trustee Nicolette will read the proclamation. She's shining today.
Well, between Adam ×2 and Scott, I'm gonna make it formal, I guess, because beautiful things have been said that are worthy and very important. Here we go. Whereas the yellow school bus is a trusted and familiar symbol of public education, student safety across communities nationwide. And whereas school buses comprise the largest form of transportation in the United States, safely transporting millions of students to and from school each day, and whereas research consistently shows that the yellow school bus is the safest mode of transportation for students, carrying approximately 26 million children daily. And whereas yellow school buses are designed and manufactured to meet stringent federal and state safety standards, and school bus drivers receive extensive training and ongoing preparation to protect the students in their care. And whereas The yellow school bus provides equitable access to education for students in rural, suburban, and urban communities, including students with special needs. And whereas student transportation supports educational opportunity by enabling participation in academic programs, extracurricular activities, field trips, and school-sponsored events. And whereas the use of school buses helps reduce traffic congestion, improve roadway safety, and lessen environmental impact by decreasing the number of individual vehicles on the road. And whereas the professionals who plan, manage, maintain, and operate school transportation systems demonstrate daily dedication to student safety, reliability, accountability, service, and I'm adding fun. Now, therefore, on behalf of Joe Ernst, Superintendent of Washoe County School District, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2026 as Love the Bus Month, and encourage students, families, staff, and community members to join in recognizing and appreciating the contributions of our school transportation professionals and the vital service they provide to student well-being and success. And please recognize and value the essential role the yellow school bus plays in education and in the life of our community.
Thank you. I think we're gonna pause and take a picture, so we'll have our special guest come up to do that.
I feel like I feel like she needs to read all of our
Oh, you got yellow shoes too.
That's why I was so excited.
I love that. That's awesome.
We'll probably need to do at least 2 rows, so if we can get our tall frame room, okay. You got it, whatever you need.
The back.
We're short.
I think we all need to scoot back.
And you want to get a little closer than you normally
Yeah, we see you.
All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Big smiles. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. My nephew's one of those that's in a wheelchair sometimes. So yeah. You guys just kind of spring.
Sure.
Well, you were always very
That is incredible.
But when we get there, what if we didn't have bus coming? It's coming in here. I know. I set a bad precedent. I'm sure Adam feels it.
Okay, thank you for that. We're just getting back on item 3.02. This is approval of Washoe County School District Board Resolution 26-003. It's a resolution of intent proposing the issuance of up to $175 million in general obligation bonds. Our presenters are Mark Mathers, our Chief Financial Officer, as well as Kyle Rodriguez, Director of Financial Operations. Mr. Rodriguez, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kyle Rodriguez, Controller for the record. So last month, we presented a resolution to begin the authorization process for issuing up to $175 million of new WC1 bonds. By doing this, we needed to go to the Debt Management Commission to notify and seek approval. I am pleased to inform you that we did receive such approval. Today, we are bringing forward the resolution and seeking approval to begin the 90-day public notice period, as required under NRS 350. Once this period has concluded, we will come back to this board and hold a public hearing on the proposed issuance. The final step will be to come to the board and present the timing and amount of the next bond issuance. And with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Any questions, colleagues? JJ, do we have any public comment?
I have no comments on this item.
Okay, thank you. All right, seeing no public comment, no further questions, I'm happy to entertain a motion. Yes, Trustee Westlake?
Thank you, President Mayberry. I move that the Board of Trustees adopts Washoe County School District Board Resolution 26-003, a resolution of intent proposing the issuance of up to $175 million in general obligation bonds additionally secured with pledged revenues, providing the manner, form, and content of the notices, and authorizing officers of the district to take other actions necessary to complete the issuance.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Trustee Westlake to approve item 3.02, a second from Clerk Hall.
Sure, I could go after or before. I'll just take an opportunity to say thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, to the finance team. This is important work with large dollar signs to it, and it really makes an impact in our district. It's significant, and so we just wanted to offer our thanks to you. My apologies for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendents. Okay, so we have a second by Clerk Hall. Yes, Clerk Hall has a comment as well.
Sure, I just wanted to say one thing. As a trustee representative on the Debt Management Commission, our staff was incredibly prepared for the meeting and brought a ton of information, and the Debt Management Commission was really impressed with their work. So I just wanted to commend your team for doing that. But I wanted to also bring up that it brought up some really great conversations amongst all of the entities about the work we're doing, and everyone is very interested in the work we're doing. So again, I really appreciate the preparation that the team had and prepared for that. I think it's a really exciting time, and we continue to be taking steps forward to do this work. So thank you.
Thank you. All well said. Again, a motion on the floor, second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. We appreciate your time. Great work. And moving on to item 3.03, milestones and momentum presentation to provide the Board of Trustees an overview of progress made on Strategic Plan Goal 5, empowering all learners for their future. For presentation and discussion only. We have it looks like, at least the script I'm looking at, has a star-studded lineup of a lot of folks here. We have Chris Hackbush, Chief Academic Officer at the podium. Mr. Michael Gifford, the principal of Debbie Smith Career and Technical Education Center. Sarah Stewart, leader, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Leader, spotlight teacher of Debbie Smith Career and Technical Education Academy, and then I think we'll have some more to follow. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. President Mayberry, Superintendent Ernst, Board of Trustees, my name is Chris Hackbush, for the record, Chief Academic Officer for Secondary Education. Today, we're going to share an update on our progress towards Strategic Plan Goal 5, empowering all learners for their future. This update is our third update to you in our series of milestones and momentum updates on our progress within the strategic plan, and follows an earlier special update on advanced course taking that was requested by the board earlier this year that was presented on September 26th, as well on the, September 26, 2025, as well as special update on expanded internships opportunities presented at the regular school board meeting on January 27, 2026. This update describes 3 areas we have focused our actions to prepare students for their future. I'd like to introduce our team. In the background is Kendra Fox, our Director of Secondary Academics and Assessment. Michelle Lewis, High School Counseling Specialist, to share updates about planning for post-graduation. And Dr. Josh Hartzog, Director of Career Technical Education, to share updates about expanded internships opportunities for high school students. But before we jump in, I'm honored to introduce Mike Gifford, Principal of Debbie Smith CTE Academy, our newest school in Washington County School District, who is here to put a spotlight on a teacher at his school who exemplifies the vision for empowering students and leading their futures.
All right, thank you so much for that nice introduction. And good to see you all again, Superintendent, President Mayberry, and the board. I appreciate you taking the time to recognize us. It is CTE month, so it's pretty great to put the spotlight on one of our CTE academies. Before I get into this, I just want to say I'm thankful that we are sharing today with Love the Bus Month for 2 reasons. One, we literally wouldn't exist without the transportation and the work that Scott and his crew have done to pick up students from Cold Springs and Palomino Valley down to Washoe Valley and everywhere in between to get to our school is ridiculous how he was able to do that and how to figure that out. So we wouldn't exist without them, so I really want to appreciate them. But also, it puts you all in the black, silver, and gold today to represent the Debbie Smith Mavericks. So that's really nice to see. So, a little bit about us, as Mr. Hackbush said, newest high school in our school district. We've got just under 700 students enrolled right now. We will be moving up to about 800 students next year, and the year after that hitting our capacity. We have 9 different academies that the students are able to participate in, and what I love about them is no matter what our students are interested in, if they like working with their hands, we've got a place for them. If they like working with people, we've got a place for them. Computers, animals, plants, money, all kinds of things. Whatever they're interested in, we can find a home for them, and it's pretty cool about that. But what we also is pretty special about our school is we are a comprehensive high school as well. We offer everything that a traditional high school would be able to offer with athletics, with music, with art, with different electives. I always like to say that we're really the only school around where a student could be studying to become a nurse while they play the saxophone, while they are on the volleyball team, and while they're taking some dual credit classes as well. So really proud of the things that we've been able to put in just a short period of time. But to get into why we're here, and before I introduce Sarah, when we started putting together this school a couple of years ago and really ramped it up in the last year, and we think about the strategic plan that we have with our school district and all the things in there, empowering our learners, what we're talking about today. For me, it really started with culture and having to build that from the ground up. That's really difficult to do in a place that we got kids coming from every corner of our district and staff members coming from every corner of our district. So when we first started hiring our staff, we talked about that. We talked about what is it that you would bring that would add to our culture? What is it that you would bring that would add to the sense of community that we have at our school? How are you going to look at problems as not a wall to run into, but as an opportunity to figure out how to get around it? And that is how we were able to put together a rock star staff that really helped develop what we wanted to do. And when we talked about those things, we talked about how we needed to have a respectful building, how we needed to be resilient and problem solve, how we wanted to be innovative. We wanted to be able to figure things out, not just read a book and answer some questions, but really look at some problems in our community, problems in our country, and figure out what to do with that, and to do it with integrity, right? That was what we wanted to drive every decision that we made. And with that, we created the Maverick mindset. And every conversation with our students, every single interview that we have, every single conversation with our parents, that's what we talk about. And that it really has driven a culture that doesn't see problems as things that are going to stop us, but as something that's going to make us grow and make us get stronger. And that, again, has really turned our school into a very special place. And I feel very lucky to get to work there every single day. And before I turn over to Sarah, just one story that I think really exemplifies the kind of people that we have that I get to work with every day is one day there was a early release Wednesday, so we have PLCs going on in our departments. And start going out into different classrooms to see what's going on, and a couple of them are empty, and that's weird. I don't know where they are. But I go into science. I know Sarah's gonna be leading, a pretty good one in there with her staff. Typically, we've got a small science department. There's four of them. So I'm thinking I'm gonna walk into a room that's pretty intimate, right, where we're talking about things. And I walk in, and there's about 25 of our staff in there. Not that they were staging a coup, ready to take me over, but actually, they, with Sarah's leadership, had been talking about how can we look at reading strategies across the board in all of our departments. How can we start using the same language? What kind of strategies can we use that we can use in science, that we could use in history, that we could use in math? And they did that all on their own. That wasn't something that we talked about at a staff meeting. They just were recognizing that there was an issue. And again, instead of that being a problem, like I don't know what to do, and banging my head against the wall, they got together and figured it out and what they could do to support our students in a better way. So again, I'm the luckiest person alive where I get to work with and who I get to work with. But that's enough of me talking. I just want to say thank you again for the opportunity to do this. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Sarah Stewart-Ledyard.
Hello, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting me. As Mike said, we are at a very special place. I feel incredibly lucky to be able to work at W. Smith every day with our amazing students and the staff. We have a unique responsibility, which is we're building a legacy from the ground up. And we take that very seriously. As Mike mentioned, we do everything through the lens of our mission statement, which is our core values of respect and resilience, innovation, and integrity. So I thought I would share with you guys a couple examples, stories of how I have seen those exemplified so far this year, even though we've only been open for half of the year. To start with, I will mention respect. This is something that's super important to us. And I saw this on full display recently when we had our Debbie Smith Day, which was Debbie Smith's birthday. It was a day of remembrance where we had the entire school participate in activities and listen to speakers to learn more about the legacy of Debbie Smith and everything that she has done for our community and of course our school. And I was blown away by the students. At the end of the day or of one of the breakouts, they were asked to create a hexagon that has one word that exemplifies Debbie Smith and then share some of their thoughts and feelings about her after they had learned more about her. And I don't want to mess this up, so I brought my phone up. So these are the students' words. It actually brought tears to my eyes when I saw all of these up against the wall. And I just randomly took some pictures to capture that way before I knew I was coming here. And so it was kind of random and I zoomed in and I wanted to share with you some of the words that these students have chosen. They shared leader, visionary, inspiring, fearless, strong, and determination. That was my random sampling of words to describe her. And then a couple of the quotes from students. One wrote, "Today I opened my eyes to how important our school really is and how lucky I am to be here." And another quote that I thought I would pull out is, "It's allowed me to feel seen and pursue my dreams." And it just, there were hundreds more like that. Those were just things that I zoomed in preparation for today, and it was just overwhelming for, I think, all of us. But I think that exemplifies that we are succeeding in building that value of respect amongst our students and staff, and I was just really impressed with them that day. Another example of resilience, I think, is obvious in our students every single day. The fact that they have chosen to come to Debbie Smith and walk out of their comfort areas. They have left their friends and their zone school and their familiar community, and they've come to a brand new school where nobody was available to tell them what it's like there. So we went from the beginning of the year where it was very quiet and a little awkward the first couple weeks of school to just resilience in action. These students have, they are happy. I like to say that Debbie Smith is the Disneyland of schools. It's the happiest school on earth. And that's because it is. I don't know one student, one staff member that doesn't look forward to coming to work every day. It's a really special place. And then my last example, because I know I'm on a time limit here, I like to talk, is innovation. And one thing that Mike has made clear with us as staff is that he would like us to not be afraid to take risks and teach in innovative ways, and to really capitalize the cross collaboration and capitalize on the facilities, the amazing facilities that we have. And so in science, we took one of our standards for biology honors, which is to tackle a global problem that was caused by human impact. So the plastic pollution problem is what we chose. And we kind of flipped the script and collaborated along with our engineering academy, so Mr. Brian Fitzgerald. And through his support, he leveraged his upperclassmen engineering students to actually plan and implement and deliver lessons to our ninth graders about the engineering design process. I was blown away by their competence. They did an amazing job. They led all of our students through designing a windmill for sustainable energy, and went through the whole process, even through the reiteration of redesigning based on feedback. They had all their speaking parts memorized. They had slides, and they all broke out and supported a small group, and it was just really amazing to see that those students stepped up to the plate, and they just showed us remarkable skills in public speaking, collaborating, working with others, and most of all, being able to show our ninth graders that they're role models and that that's what we do at W. Smith. So those are my examples, and I just want to thank you all for your support in supporting Debbie Smith and everything that we do. And of course, Mike and his admin team as well. Thank you.
Well, don't go away. Any comments, questions from board colleagues? Yes, Trustee Phoenix.
Yes, thank you for that, everything that you're doing. You know, we have that great facility over there that fosters that good environment to allow that to happen, so that's a plus there. You mentioned a lot about teachers and staff. What about feedback from the families? You know, what do the families have to say about the school and the things that are happening over there? I'd like to hear that.
We have lots of different activities where we invite the community in, and where we are planning to invite the community in for the end of the year for our plastic pollution. We're going to invite them to see some of the engineered solutions that the students have come up with. But the events that we've had so far, the parents are also blown away. They are extremely grateful. That's what I think resonates most with me when I talk with families, is their gratefulness that their student was able to attend Debbie Smith, and they are so proud and happy that their students have these opportunities.
Yeah, that's the feedback that we get. Obviously, you know, not everybody's happy every single day, but majority of
overall,
but majority of the feedback we get is very positive. I'm looking forward to our climate survey just opened up for our families last week, so I'm really looking forward to getting those results as well. But you know, a unique challenge that we have, like I mentioned, is our community is Washoe County, right? It's not Sutro and McCarran, not only Sutro and McCarran. So we have tried really hard to bring our families in. One of the coolest events that I've ever done was we did a Christmas tree lighting of a 65-foot sequoia that we have on our property that was planted in the 60s. And we worked with community members to get lights put on it. And we had vendors come, our culinary students cooked food, our teaching and training students put together a food drive. It was a really cool thing that the entire school put together. And we had probably 600 people show up to this event on a very cold night in November. And I think it just shows that the people want to be a part of our community and are excited to have an opportunity to do that. So our goal is to continue offering these kinds of things to get our families in so they're a part of our school as well. And I think that will then show some positive results in those climate surveys we'll get too.
Thank you.
Quick call.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Such a great testament to who Debbie Smith was, and I really appreciate that. I also have had the opportunity in my full-time job to be in your building several times with Mr. Clark throughout the day, who's your social studies department chair, and I too saw how happy all of the kids were, and really kind and truly incredible students, very engaged. I just, as a social studies teacher, I have to plug that your plastics project sounds like a civics project as well. And there are K-12 civic standards that include informed action. So just throwing it out there that we'd love to see some public policy going on there too. Just saying, I can't help it. It's like, it's just part of it. I have all of our standards memorized. But I love it so much. And my son goes to the other career technical academy. And I have to say, same thing I see there and at your school. Just the students are so excited, and there's a reason why you had so many applications this last year, which just signifies to our board that we have to, which I'm sure is going to be the next part of the presentation, and we have to increase our CTE opportunities because it's what kids want. So thank you for doing the hard work to make sure that the kids are getting these opportunities to connect real world learning with the classroom learning, and that is all we can dream of as educators. So as an educator, to you, thank you for the hard work that you do.
Well, Trustee Smith and then Trustee Westlake.
Thank you, and so it's the perfect carry on from that because as someone, I'm going to phone a friend here, we received an unprecedented number of applications for next year's seats, correct? How many was that roughly?
It was about 2,000 between the two schools. And just, we did this as well, but 1,555 unique applicants. So there were about 400 kids that applied to both schools, but over 1,500 unique applicants between the two schools.
And of all those applicants, which is remarkable, how many seats were available roughly between the two schools?
Less than 400.
Okay. So when I first joined the board, of course, I love Debbie Smith and the school, and I'm going to tell a fun story about the ribbon cutting. But my inspiration for being so passionate around CTE is my dad. So my dad he was born in '56 and grew up at a time where being smart with your hands was not considered being smart at all. And yet, my dad is the smartest person I know, hands down. So when I became a trustee and started to learn about our CTE offerings, like my passion, and I am not necessarily a build with your hands kind of person, but I love that we now respect and uplift all the different ways that someone learns and can express their mastery. And I really hope it is on my vision board, like Babe Ruth with the bat. I think that I'd really like to have on our vision board to continue to grow our CTE offerings, not just necessarily at our schools, but also to consider any opportunities for additional CTE academies. And I had the opportunity, well, one, my mom says thank you because I did buy the Valentine's Day flowers for her from the students that were in the Natural Resources and Animal Sciences program. And then I also had the opportunity to give these flowers to my fellow members of the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Governing Board as well too. And I just think that it's so amazing to see what our kids can create. Being at the ribbon cutting, Trustee Westlake and I had the opportunity after the ribbon cutting this summer to walk around the Debbie Smith CTE Academy campus with Debbie Smith's family. And they told incredible stories about her and how this would have been, this is just a pinnacle moment. And so just so very, very proud. I'll close with another question. I'm willing to bet that your attendance is really strong and so is your engagement. Is that the case?
Yes, we have higher than average attendance at our school for sure. And yes, our engagement's incredible. I mean, coming into classrooms and seeing what's going on is, just yesterday I was in a classroom when they were dissecting chicken thighs. I mean, it was just super fun just to see the questions that came from that. Like all that, I mean, obviously there's lots of things we have to do within a book and we've got a lecture and all those things, but just the hands-on stuff our kids get to do every day is incredible. Yeah.
Thank you, President Mayberry. I don't want this to sound like I'm harping. This is just a heartfelt observance. Thank you for what you do. I hope everybody in our community is watching right now, because I don't want anyone to take for granted what is happening, what opportunities are happening, what pathways are happening, the expressive learning and involvement that is happening at the school, and we all should be very thankful for this opportunity, because this just doesn't always happen. I mean, this is very special, and I too hope that we can do this more, because our kids deserve it. And I just thank you so much for what's happening within those walls. So thank you.
Go ahead, Vice.
Thank you. Mr. Gifford, I had the recent privilege of attending a walkthrough with Senator Rosen, with the superintendent. Our president, he deferred to me. He said, "Hey, that's your school, so you should go." So I appreciate that, Adam. Thank you. I felt so proud seeing and watching her as she was amazed by the information you were sharing and what you were showing her, and when she was speaking to the superintendent. And it felt good, because she had a great time. She really, really liked it, and it felt good. And I just want to share one thing, because sometimes you have discussions in the community and people ask about, with the reduction in student enrollment, is that going to impact the CTE schools? And my response has always been, dude, CTE schools is the future. I can't see us building any high schools that aren't CTE. So thank you for being here for the future. Thank you, Zach.
Principal Gifford, what is the most popular CTE program at Debbie Smith?
That's a good question. I know what Mr. Ernst's favorite is, his teaching and training. But the largest wait list is our nursing academy. Yeah, and it's the most unique academy we have. I think that leads to that. But right behind that's engineering is our second highest.
Great, well, thank you for that. When I was appointed to the board, almost it'll be 5 years later this year, you were at Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen your career progress to Shaw, to ACT, to opening up a brand new high school. So congratulations on your success, and I want to thank you for your leadership and your dedication. And Sarah, thank you for your passion. There's a reason why you're there. And I lived in Sparks half my life. Debbie Smith was a legislator. I've had many conversations with her, and I know she'd be smiling down on the work that all of you are doing. So thank you very much. With that, I will turn it over to Superintendent. I apologize. We have Trustee Nicolette, then we'll conclude with Superintendent.
I'm just going to do one better on the Senator Rosen. When I was in her office in DC, we talked extensively about our career and technical education programs in Washoe County School District, and also her visit to Debbie Smith. And I would like to say that Debbie Smith would be very pleased that Superintendent Ernst likes the teaching and learning. Because, that was kind of her gig too. And so she'd be very proud of that, and concur with my colleagues. We need to do more of this. Of course, it's a scale up kind of, and we can only do so much so quickly, but the quicker the better. And I will say that I served on what was called JOTC back in the day, Joint Occupational and Technical Committee for Washoe County School District, and we were just talking about AACT. And it was like this new like vision. It was like this unicorn that was going to happen, and it did, and we continue to make it happen. And thank you, Dr. Hartzog, for you and your team and all that you do. And thank you. And I will say, I hope this is okay, that Sarah has a counterpart up in Incline, and they are a dynamic duo. Principal Letty are. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nicolette. That's some great context, though, as we kind of look back and we see how CTE has developed over the years. So that's really neat that you bring that up. Couple things I just would like to take the opportunity to share. So Debbie Smith, right in the heart of our city, is a beautiful building. And the construction, the design is just tremendous. And then there's the people inside who make that building. And starting with Mr. Gifford and the culture that you have worked to build within the school, and Mrs. Ledyard, the ability to take that and put it into motion in the school is substantial. When we had Superintendent Wakefield visit your school, and we really appreciate all of the ambassadorship that occurs at Debbie Smith CTE Academy. And we sat with students, and when the students were giving feedback to Superintendent Wakefield, from one educator, I could not have asked for better feedback around the staff and what the students were describing. What they described is teachers that believe in them, that care about them, that push them. And some of them shared some unique experiences that they had in middle school. And education wasn't as alive for them in that middle school experience. And what they shared is how the teachers at Debbie Smith brought this experience to life for them. And it was really a testimony to the work that is being done at Debbie Smith CTE Academy. And so with that, Mrs. Ledyard, we want to just take a moment to acknowledge you, to offer you what we call our Staff Appreciation Award as a very big thank you for everything that you are doing for your students, the leadership that you have at the school, and really making Debbie Smith an electric learning environment. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're gonna pause and take a picture, so come on up.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, me too. That's gonna drag a lot of
Oh, you gotta get in here. You took the picture.
I think she wants us to.
Here it comes.
I know.
I'll give you the shortest.
Take a few. Let's see what's thinking. Let's see. Stacker. Stack. Okay.
How you doing? Hanging in there? Yeah. Last week was last week was fun. Just felt crazy.
Oh, it does.
Okay, we're going to continue this presentation and discussion item 3.03. Back at the podium is Chief Academic Officer Chris Hackbush. And Mr. Hackbush, I'll go ahead and let you introduce the individuals at the table.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and we're gonna go kind of in order here, so I'll do that in 1 second, and I'm just gonna jump into this slide, and then I'll turn it over to our staff. Our work toward empowering all learners for the future focuses on 3 areas that have been shown in best practice literature to support the development of students in reaching their post-graduation goals and leading healthy adult lives. Our team is gonna share a few highlights of the work that has been completed each year. First, I'd like to share where we stand on these measures of progress for this goal. Okay, on this slide, the percent of students who enroll in our advanced course opportunities is one way we gauge our district's capacity to provide these opportunities. These measures represent the percentage of students in grades 9 through 12 enrolled in dual, concurrent, AP, IB, or CTE courses in the fall of this year versus fall of last year. The change in the percentage of high school students who were enrolled in advanced courses during the fall semester showed that concurrent enrollment and dual enrollment participation continues to rise this fall. We're very excited about the growth in that area and the continued efforts with our concurrent enrollment partners. AP, IB participation declined slightly and CTE declined slightly. Declines attributed, we're kind of in a situation where the dust is settling with all these diverse opportunities for students. As mentioned in previous board meetings, there's also the decline of enrollment and the number of allocations schools have. So that's a reality we have to face, and we have to lean into our data. Diversifying our advanced courses by multiple means is the goal. And we have seen how we're trailblazing in that area with opportunities like Debbie Smith. Over time, we'll refine these metrics to hone in on the outcomes with an eye on enrollment numbers as we go. Okay. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Herzog.
Good afternoon, everyone. Here, Josh Hartzog here for the record, and I will be giving you an update on where we stand with respect to Action Step 5.1, Advanced Course Opportunities. So in the space of advanced course enrollments, as of this school year in the fall, we had 10,832 unique students enrolled in advanced courses. And then broken out, you will note that within that number of 10,000 plus, many of those students are enrolled in multiple advanced courses simultaneously. So oftentimes we will have students enrolled in CTE and in college credit courses, or in college credit courses and AP IB courses and combinations therein. A couple of highlights within these numbers, as you can see on the right. With CTE, we've continued to work on expanding our options for students across the district, most notably, of course, with the historic opening of W. Smith CTE Academy this year. We've also made a significant, in addition to all of W. Smith's offerings, which Principal Gifford elaborated on, we also made a significant pivot in the fall of this school year, having retired signature academies as a concept in the Washoe County School District, moving instead to a CTE for all approach at all of our traditional high schools. And as you'll likely recall, that was really built to strip away some of the application barriers for a lot of our 8th graders looking to attend CTE programs at their high schools. They can simply apply to join those CTE programs per our normal course registration process in the spring. We also want to note that by next school year, we are on track to have each of our high schools offering at a minimum a college level English, math, and social studies or science course, a level of accessibility which is further bolstered by our district's ongoing investment in providing concurrent enrollment courses to our students free of charge. We've also worked hard within CTE to promote to our teachers the idea of teaching college level courses within their own CTE programs, and are now at the point where fully a third of all students enrolled in college courses last year with TMCC were within CTE programs and CTE courses. In terms of workforce alignment and development, the CTE department is pursuing a number of exciting new initiatives, which you can see here on the slide. And of course, that's not an exhaustive list, but continuing to extend our depth and reach into a number of high skill, high wage industries, including aerospace and aviation, health and human services, and construction and the skilled trades. And as ever, we are working to strengthen our post-secondary partnerships with University of Nevada, Reno, and Truckee Meadows Community College, with TMCC in particular, via our annual on-site days at their campuses, which we are actually running next week. And then while moving next year to really promoting the idea that for our graduating seniors who qualify, they can attend TMCC and acquire an associate's degree largely free of charge with the Nevada Promise Scholarship. So that's something we're trying to heavily promote, especially amongst our CTE students and their upper level courses as they approach their senior year. And with that, I will pass it along to Michelle Lewis with an update on Action Step 5.2.
Pardon me, go ahead, Trustee Smith, I think you have a question.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you first, Mr. President, thank you. Do you prefer that we ask questions while the slides are up, or should we hold them until the end?
You know, this is a fairly short presentation. I'm very comfortable with you going ahead and asking questions if you'd like to do that. Thank you. That goes down the board, so feel free to just put your light on if you have a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Staying on this slide, because this is something I was hoping to clarify. I think one of the most transformative things that this board and district have done is to take the costs associated to advanced coursework, CTE, AP, IB, concurrent enrollment, off the responsibility of our families. So and this is also something I asked about, but I want to clarify. We have here in the presentation that all the high schools are going to offer at minimum a college level English, math, social studies. Maybe I didn't understand that bullet though, because that could also be AP. Is that concurrent enrollment at all the high schools next year? Or is that just they'll all offer, let's say in AP, like what does that mean so that I can properly flex it to my next question? Thank you.
I'm chuckling because Kendra Fox beside me asked if I wanted her to answer, and I need her answer. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Kendra.
I said I was going to just sit up here and look pretty this whole time. I guess I must be. Thank you. Kendra Fox for the record. Thank you for your question. This bullet that talks about all high schools offering an English, math, social studies, and/or science is around concurrent enrollment.
Okay, so this is absolutely amazing, because when I had asked the questions with the regular trustee question process, I learned that the courses would stay stable. Maybe there might be a change of 1 to 2. And my reason for advocating for this, and this is now the 4th school year I'm advocating for, is that Worcester High School has no concurrent enrollment, and Reno High School, my other comprehensive high school, only has 1, and that's in a CTE related area. And so I also asked a wonderful question, because I'm such a huge cheerleader of this. This school year, it is projected that our families could be saving upwards of $5 million in college credits just based on concurrent enrollment. And yes, that number is real, because I got that in the answers, and I think it is absolutely remarkable. And I am thrilled for every single student who will take one of these concurrent enrollment classes and say, college, I can do this. And when I look at, of course, we represent all schools, but I champion Worcester, which has 0, and Reno that has 1. And I am very glad to hear that for sure both of those schools will actually have 1 of all of those courses.
Course enrollment is still in progress, so we need students to sign up for those courses, but that is, it is being offered.
I think that is absolutely wonderful, because I see schools like Reed and Mon Ranch and of course Debbie Smith, and I would love to see, I don't know if CFO Mathers wants to see that number go up. But I certainly want to see that number go up, and I know that our students will really embrace this at all of our schools, and just think that that's wonderful. So you've answered my question, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. So I'm excited for both of those schools to finally get some of these offerings. Thank you so much.
Please continue, yeah. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michelle Lewis, and I serve as the District High School Counseling Specialist, and I also serve as the liaison for the college and career facilitators at all of the high schools. Both of these departments continue to focus on ensuring that students are aware of and prepared for opportunities that support the post-graduation goals. District-wide, we've expanded several high-impact activities that reach a large number of students. Freshman seminars help ninth graders begin early with graduation and pathway planning. Senior interviews ensure every 12th grade student has a one-on-one counselor meeting focused on next steps and readiness. And events such as district-wide college fair, the career fairs such as the Debbie Smith Day that was just discussed, TMCC visits and junior interviews bring colleges, employees, and training programs directly to students, helping remove barriers to access. A central tool in this work is the graduation and post-graduation plan. This plan gives students an interactive, student-centered roadmap they revisit every year with their counselor. It also converts a transcript into a clear visual that shows completed courses, what remains for the diploma goal they have, and space for personalized notes. We recently gathered feedback from the counselors to streamline the form so it's for clarity and for consistency, and also received feedback from the college and career facilitators so we can outline a 4-year sequence of college and career readiness milestones. This fall, 100% of seniors have met with their high school counselor and to update their plan. Approximately 80% of the plans have been are entered into the system, and the remaining are being finalized. The planning meetings for the 9th through 11th grade are actually occurring right now, and then they will be inputted into their graduation plan. Beyond the graduation plan, counselors and college and careers facilitators continue supporting post-secondary steps through UNR outreach, course selection conferences, college and career student-centered programming, FAFSA district-wide FAFSA nights, and tools such as Insight that help us with timely interventions for all of our students. And together these efforts strengthen early planning, expand access, and ensure every student has a clear and supported path towards life after graduation. Thank you. If you have any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. We appreciate that very much. Yes, Clerk Hall.
I do have a question, and we may need to phone a friend with Michelle sitting in the background, but with the updates to the website, are we working towards having a more unified approach to the course catalog for each high school? Because they're all kind of based on each high school, and they can be anywhere from a PDF to looks like a scanned Word document. So with our new abilities with the new website, are we working towards some unified course catalog so that parents that maybe have a student at Debbie Smith but then also at Damani have the ability to really see what is offered at all schools?
So thank you for the question. Michelle Anderson, Chief Communications and Public Relations Officer. We are in a unique spot. Each of our schools manages their own website, plus we have the district site. So we have 104 sites, or excuse me, 104 schools, the main district site, and that doesn't include department sites.
Okay.
So streamlining it is a little bit difficult. However, our team has been talking about marketing because that is hugely important to us. And we know we need to have a page that parents can go to see what all of our offerings are and then go to obviously the school to learn more. So we are actively working on that, and I hope to have that launched by this summer so that as we're looking forward, our families really know how to gather that information.
That would be amazing.
And Kendra Fox, for the record, I will only add that the actual Common Course catalog for the entire district is common. I put it together, and there's front matter that is just basic policies and procedures for parents, and then the course catalog with all the courses listed. And then what happens is each site goes and deletes the courses that they don't offer at their school. So it is common, it just is slightly different based on each school's preferences. But we start with one master copy.
Okay.
But with the new website, hopefully maybe we can get to something even more common.
That would be great. I definitely I'm in that age range of my own children, so they have, friends whose parents are about to start high school, and I got several recently who said they were looking at a couple different schools. They've gotten admission into AACT, and they were, going back and forth, and they're like, but I don't know where to find all of this. And so I think that there's some opportunities for us to communicate a little bit better with parents. So I love that idea. Thank you very much.
As a recent former parent of Washoe County School District, I know how important it is to have these career counseling specialists. So thanks for what you do. There's not enough of you. I wish we had more of you.
So do I.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a quick aside to Trustee Smith's point about concurrent enrollment and dual credit, I can say as the parent of a senior this year who will be graduating high school with just under 2 semesters of college credits, it's been a tremendous benefit to my family personally, not only in the sense of stripping away that barrier, but also preparing her for college. She's going to go to UNR just so well prepared, and I'm proud of her, so I want to give her a shout out. So. Go Sophia, exactly. So with that, action step 5.3. Now, last month I shared with the board the extensive progress we've made in expanding internship opportunities, and a deeper dive on this topic is available with that presentation for anyone on the board or our viewing public. But for today's update, I will briefly share just a few points again to celebrate this progress and where we are moving forward. Now, the timeline at left displays the progress we have made in just 3 years to significantly expand internship opportunities for our students. Again, our goal is to continue to develop these opportunities to reach a minimum of 600 students participating in an internship by the 2029-30 school year. And that is, again, our aspirational North Star. A couple more highlights along the way. We are continuing to add both more CTE programs, more of the same CTE programs, as well as developing entirely new ones in our district, namely aviation technology, which you all have heard about, as most of you know, as well as law enforcement and certified nursing assistant. Those are also 2 entirely new programs to our school district. At Debbie Smith, recognizing Principal Gifford here tonight, that school, as you know, is on track to be near its capacity with almost 800 students in only its 2nd year of operation. And lastly, we are in the midst of a project to vastly expand aviation education, particularly with respect to the North Valley's vertical, with more details and celebrations to come shortly. Last but certainly not least, most of you have seen this slide before, but you will probably note that the list of our community partners continues to grow, and we are continuously thankful to the now dozens of our district supporters who invest their time, talent, and treasure to support our students with a range of curriculum resources and work-based learning experiences, up to and including industry tours and internships. And that by no means is exhaustive. I know that I'm leaving people out as well. So in closing, we are seeing significant momentum in our dual and concurrent course enrollments. We are continuously working to expand access to our CTE programs with notable expansions along the way in aviation, law enforcement, and certified nursing assistant. Concurrent enrollment continues to be a primary means of our students being able to access college-level content from their own teachers in the course of the school day, while our counseling department and our school-based counselors remains focused on leveraging best practices and tools to ensure access to rigorous, advanced-level coursework and planning for the world of work and career. And with that, we welcome any further questions and comments.
Okay, thank you so much. Questions, comments, colleagues, anybody? Yes, Trustee Nicolette.
Thank you. I'll just share a wish, and Dr. Josh and I have talked about this, but our career and technical student organizations, I certainly wish that we could sometime in the future fit more support, monetary support, into our budget to support those activities. They truly are phenomenal networking, learning experiences, and they're really part of an out of classroom experience that are extremely important.
Trustee Smith, I'm sorry, I gotta pay attention. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. So since Trustee Nicolette was talking about wishes, I felt like I had to jump in on wishes. And my wish is that someday we will have a cosmetology program as part of CTE. So that's in my stocking. I know it is only February, but that is in my stocking. Thank you for inspiring my wish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Trustee Nicolette, Trustee Smith. So I wanted to just take a quick moment to just underline a couple of things. First, Dr. Hartzog, your leadership in our CTE expansion throughout the years, most recently with our internships. We look at the timeline, 2 years ago, 13 internships, up to 170 internships. And I say this because we've also cut $25 million in our budget over the past 2 years. And so it's incredible that we are able to still offer such diverse programming for our students, because typically programming gets collapsed when these types of budget constraints come. And it is just remarkable that even in the backdrop of that, you, your team, are able to continue to provide these learning experiences that extend beyond the walls of schools that are so important for our students. So I wanted to just take a moment to say thank you for that. Ms. Lewis, I wanted to take a moment, I think it's been mentioned a couple times, but the role of the counseling team to help steer our students towards the many options. The map is complicated, and sometimes they have to drive from one place, come back to their school to take another class. They have to make sure that the times balance out, and the counselors play a pivotal role in trying to make this design work for our students. And it's because of that we get to $5 million of savings for our students. And so sure want you to take that back to the counseling team, because we recognize how instrumental that role is. And then Ms. Fox, you know, I don't know how many more opportunities we're gonna have where you are sitting in that position. But I would definitely be remiss if we didn't take just an opportunity to recognize the substantial contributions that you have made to Washoe County School District in your role over the many years that you have held it. And it is felt and recognized by all, but you have been instrumental in opening doors for our students, and the way that you work with principals, with teachers, with our college partners could not be better. We're excited to have Ms. Johnson in the role, but Kendra, we want to just take a moment to offer you a really large thanks for everything you've done, and absolutely wishing you the best on that next chapter in your life.
Thank you.
Don't we have to agendize that though, or retirement? We have to approve that.
Good idea.
I think the first order
I do have a question, just real quick, if I may. I apologize, I didn't ask it earlier because you ended on such a great note. But it's on my mind. I just want to give the opportunity to address the decline in the CTE. Very small decline, less than half a point. Yet we have a new CTE high school. Looks like we're expanding our CTE programs. There's some whispers, about why we're expanding CTE when we saw a decline. I just want an opportunity for staff to kind of clarify, crystallize that the future is strong for CTE, but nonetheless, we recognize that there's a dip here. Okay, can you respond to that? There's a question in there somewhere.
I can see the question. Thank you for asking it. So I would sum it up with the word allocations, teacher allocations. So as we've seen over the last several years, we've had slight declines across the school district, and that is particularly impactful for us in CTE for two reasons. Number one, that means we have just that slightly fewer students who can take our CTE programs as electives. And then moreover, that impacts allocations available to our schools. So over the past several years, we've had instances where teachers have retired or resigned, and we have the ability to find candidates to replace those positions. But because those schools don't have the allocations available to rehire, those programs go inactive. So that is the trend that we've seen.
Any further comments, questions? I don't object to a picture. I think somebody suggested a picture. Can we do that? Can we pause a picture with?
I do just have a quick question to.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll do clerk call and then we'll do trustee Westlake.
I'm curious if the switch over this year to not having a designated signature academy in an application, if you think that may have had anything to do with the lower enrollment in our comprehensive high schools in CTE, because I assume that the number went up simply because of W. Smith, so really that number is very likely in our comprehensive high schools. And so I'm wondering if the lack of communication to 8th grade families saying these are available, and so I guess I'm wondering, you don't have to know the answer to this.
I can speak to that. So,
okay.
So when we had the signature academies, we often had the parent nights,
right.
And we did a lot of promotion
of
individual schools, and they were all on one site. And I think there's opportunities for that. I think like if you look at the IB program, like we need to promote the IB program,
right?
You know, and so it's really given us a sharp eye on areas that we can target for growth and marketing and communication, just like any new offerings we're offering at Worcester or Reno on the new options that students can take, because ultimately it's a choice for them to take it. So we got to get it in front of them and promote those.
So it'll be interesting to see what the numbers look like next year after we've had a year to kind of change over from being a signature academy to a choice, and to be aware that, you know, talking to 8th graders specifically about that. So, because I know I used to make all my 8th graders apply for Signature Academy, honestly, because they needed practice filling out applications, but it was a great opportunity for me to advertise that to my 8th graders. So I think that just is something that came to mind, and something that we should definitely be thinking about, and, you know, whatever that looks like.
Well, one of the key initiatives area superintendents are working with principals on is vertical alignment. So we want our incoming 8th graders touring the high schools.
Right.
We want them to know what the electives are. Yeah. You know, we want them to know Proctor R. Hug has oceanography.
Right. That's fantastic.
So
thank you.
And if I may add just one more point, just because I want to give a shout out to our CTE teachers and our CTE counselors. The work is continuing in terms of our high schools reaching down to their verticals and communicating with their middle schools and visiting their middle schools, which they do every single year. They're in the midst of that right now.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, President Mayberry. Chris, Mr. Hackbush kind of said something that I was going to bring up, but I'm going to say it again anyhow. Marketing, we're selling ourselves. We're selling a product. So the more we can tell our story, and I mentioned that today a lot to Superintendent Ernst, we have a story to tell, and we need to be proud and loud, and we need to tell everybody our story, because it is a great story, and it is a continuing story. And that's all really marketing is telling your story and letting people know about you. So we need to introduce ourselves, tell our story to everyone that we possibly can, because we have a lot to offer. And then I was gonna say, in general towards allocations and in specifics to you, Kendra, nobody should be going anywhere. Nobody can go anywhere. So,
I'm leaving you in good hands.
thank you.
Student Representative Hartley, you get the last word.
Just one of the things I wanted to say is that one of the like CT programs that a lot of kids are interested in but don't really have access to is aviation. Just I've seen that's gained a lot of popularity and the average students don't really have access to that.
You just make sure that Mayberry stay.
Yes.
Yeah, the sky's the limit, right? We're gonna go ahead and forego a picture, but we wanna thank you. We wanna thank you for your service, all of you, Dr. Harzog, Ms. Fox, Ms. Lewis, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, appreciate you coming. Thank you. Well done. Okay, we're gonna move to section 4. These are our reports as we turn to final approach with our student representative, 4.01, Maya Hartley. You're up.
Today, I just wanted to bring some recognition to the work that our schools have been putting into all of our clubs and our extracurricular activities. Student involvement in clubs has really dipped down because of COVID, but since then, our students and our staff have been working hard to increase what is being offered to kids. More kids are aware of the clubs and extracurriculars that are offered, and the amount of clubs that are offered has increased because kids know they can make their own clubs now. And it's all had a really positive impact because kids that are involved in clubs want to come to school more and they're more engaged in their classes. And so I just wanted to emphasize the work that our schools have been doing on that.
Thank you, Maya. We appreciate you being here today. You bring such a great perspective. Item 4.02 are our board reports. Each trustee will have 3 minutes to provide the community with an update of activities. And you know what? I'll go ahead and start, and we'll come around the room and end with Trustee Nicolette. I'll be brief. This is a picture of me over the weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. I had an opportunity to go to NASB's, the Nevada Association of School Boards, President's Workshop. So those are just about all of the school board presidents throughout the state, from Clark County to White Pine, to Story, to Lyon, to Lincoln, to Washoe County. So it was a very enlightening moment. I think, for me, it's refreshing to hear all the challenges that all the districts face are very similar to what we're facing. So also wanted to just give a quick shout out to our police department. Wanted to do this back at the beginning of the year. They just made some fantastic videos lately. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Yeah, they've
They're stars.
the hearts around Valentine's Day was what was that? What were they? They were holding signs that say yeah, and then around the holidays, just before the kids came back to school, I watched that video 3 or 4 different times. It was so funny, so endearing. I hope you guys submit an award for that. Just fantastic stuff. So thank you for showing the love to our students and all you do to keep us safe and sitting in these wonderful, exciting meetings and serving us. So thank you all very much. That concludes my report, and I'll turn it over to Vice President Woodley.
All right, thank you. I just want to share some congratulations from last weekend's state championship in wrestling. In North Valley High School, I want to congratulate Gabrielle Acosta and the Queen, Cooper Sandoval, A. Coronado, Zayden Hill, and the girls, Jasmine Morales and Kaylee Landis. At Reno High School, Owen Layfield, Arjun Madiwala. And at Worcester High School, Xavier Glover and Caden Se Wong. At Galena, I'd like to celebrate Manakai Kern, Tristan Diaz, Andrew Keenan, Hiloki Kern. At Reed, I'd like to acknowledge Oscar Casares. And for the girls, we had Maya Fyodorova, Eliana Santos Banks, Ariana Santana, Charlie Tins, At Hug High School, Sergio Oliveira, Brian, Bernardi Verdon, Aiden Navarro, Miracle Hardaway. At the Marnie Ranch, Kyle Green, Benjamin Pounding. At Sparks High School, Travis Solis. And from the girls, Camila Martinez. At Spanish Springs, Elijah Gustafson. Emery Llewellyn, Andrew Correa, Cole Crafton. And the girls, Ava Garrett, Bella Winrow, Madeline Hitchcock. And did I state Polina?
Yes.
I did, okay. So congratulations, those are all our champions from last weekend. And I just want to close with, over the weekend, I've worked in government for over 30 years, so I have a lot of boxes of training, and my wife every now and then makes me get rid of some boxes. So I went through one of the boxes this weekend, and it was one of the boxes on leadership training. And specifically, I was looking at one chapter, and as I was throwing them away, and the title was Boundaries. And I was reading it and remembering. I remember the days when I used to get anxiety from my cell phone vibrating or ringing, from work. And I just remembered some things that I wanted to share with us, some notes that they had in there. One was, don't use text as your primary communication, because sometimes we think it's easy and we use it, but we don't understand that our staff or our subordinate that receives that communication constantly via text, it can create anxiety and create problems. Requests should be made in person or in email. So we have to resist using our technology, our cell phones for requests. And then lastly, I think it's the most important, resist using your cell phone communication after hours or weekends and holidays. And that's something that I'm gonna make sure that I do, is I'm gonna resist that desire to reach out after hours or weekends and try to respect that boundary with families and make sure any request that we have, I'm doing it in writing. Because if we have an emergency, we can call 911. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, President.
Thank you. I just wanted to take my opportunity to shout out 4 nonprofits in the area that are doing incredible work for our students and our teachers. So first, I spent this last Saturday with the Northern Nevada Council for the Social Studies. This is an all-volunteer board who puts on an incredible conference that's not just for social studies teachers every year, but this year it was really cool because they brought in an expert on sports history, and we had a really great conversation about civil discourse and how sports are part of our democracy, and they create those spaces where we can have civil discourse, which was really cool. I also wanted to shout out Boosted Diplomas, who's working primarily with foster youth, and they do an incredible job of helping to tutor and mentor our foster our children in this area that are in the foster system, and their graduation rate is 3 times the graduation rate of typical foster children across the nation, which is amazing. Another nonprofit that I have recently had the opportunity to work with is Spread the Word Nevada, and they are trying to support our schools with literacy and providing tons of books for our children, as well as tutoring and literacy support for especially our elementary schools. So shout out to Spread the Word Nevada. And then last week I had the opportunity to attend the Nevada Independent Indie Talks, which we also all got to attend when Superintendent Ernst was on it. And it may seem strange to shout out a media company, but they are a nonprofit and they really do try to stay independent. And I think media literacy is incredibly important, and they do a wonderful job of covering the news in all areas of Nevada. And I really appreciate the work that they do. And being in the nonprofit industry myself, I know how important it is to spread the word about the work that all of these organizations do. So I wanted to give them a shout out today. That's it.
Thank you. So I too want to say congratulations to our police. They definitely have a future as influencers. They are, just to see
what they're putting up on Facebook, and you can tell they have a love for kids and for this community, and it's impressive. It's impressive, it's uplifting, it's joyous, it's fun, and I'm so thankful that they're so involved. I attended the AGC SIRS Award. One thing with some of my colleagues, one thing I can say is it really makes me feel old, because a lot of these guys that I don't know who they are in this industry anymore, and I thought I knew everybody in the construction industry, but it's awesome to see that we have such a well-maintained and growing industry. I met with Nicole Wadden up at UNR and was introduced to Path to Success. And it is an amazing program that they have for students that need a little more supports, but that are very, very deserving of the college experience. And I honestly, some of the classes and curriculum that they are having the kids go through would be awesome for all of our students before they get to college, because it just is a real supportive and loving and hands-on experience for these kids. Attended communities and schools, breakfast awards, and talk about a heavy lift that this organization is doing and being there for our kids. But I also need to shout out, there was a whole list of partners that are involved with communities and schools, but Renown and NV Energy, thank you so much if anyone's listening. Took donuts to Catherine Dunn for my donut challenge for the classes that rose to the occasion, and there's going to be many more. And I just want to bounce off of Vice President Woodley, having had a son that was an All-American state champion wrestler. This is a grueling, demanding sport, but it is an amazing, amazing sport, and it builds amazing human beings, some of which that are still giving back. My son is coaching upcoming youth wrestlers. It is an amazing sport. So shout out to all of those wrestlers. Thank you.
All right, I want to share a little bit here. I went to Rise Academy for Adult Achievement, led by Principal Steve Constantino. Continues to provide adult learners with flexible pathways to earn their high school diploma. I just walk in the halls and seeing the adults and all the students and everyone just still trying to achieve. It was good to see, to watch them out there. And I was very honored just to kind of walk the halls with them there to see that happening. So it's great that the community still offers that, and that WCSD is really still involved, leading the way. Also, a shout out to Alice Smith Elementary School. They're in the Valleys, led by Principal Gina Miller. Dads with Donuts. We had about 400 people that showed up, maybe a little more, almost 5. They just kept coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, and it just kept going. So it was nice to see that engagement and welcome them, see their smiling faces and those parents there. So again, that was where she had talked about systems and community engagements, trying to put that together, and academics, just still trying to work on that. But it was a great way to spend the morning there. And then also, again, I went to community and schools in Western Nevada, and as a lot of you know about, but through they provide embedded school-based learning support for students and families through case management and connected through community resources. Again, there was a whole list. I think it was NV Energy, Renown, GSR, you name it. A lot of them were there, and there was some of our students that were recognized. So that was pretty good. And then the last thing for me is just attending the high school regional and state championships, watching basketball. Reno High and Spanish Spring were just battling. They were just awesome. I didn't know who to vote for, man. You know what I mean? But I really enjoyed that, to see that, but also the staff that put on the work. They had some of the staff that stayed late for injuries and things like that. So I'll shout out to everybody that supported to make those things that happened there. And then lastly, the Pyramid Lake girls, they won their 4th straight championship in 1A. So kudos to that program. It starts from pee-wees, from grade 1 through 3rd grade, all the way up into the middle school, and then they integrate that basketball into the high school. So again, it's a great program that's been going on about the last 20 years. So this is showing the fruits of just staying with it. So with that, thank you very much.
All right, JJ, I'll wait for you to get the first picture up. All right. So coming up is Nevada Reading Week. It's March 2nd through the 6th, 2026. And this is the official bookmark for the entire state done by our very own Addison, a 4th grade student at Brown Elementary School. She has the grand prize winning design that'll be featured all throughout the state for this upcoming week and on the official bookmark. So congratulations to her. Really remarkable for a 4th grader. So congratulations to Addison. Was really, really pleased to spend time with the Veterans, Corbett, and Reno Sparks Indian Colony communities as well. So that was nice to get to spend some direct time with those families. The second picture that we have here is I got to watch Chief Searcy give a fantastic presentation on the facilities modernization plan and the history of it to the Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Governing Board. I serve on that governing board, and also Trustee Nicolette, who was there in the audience as well. And then one of the things that we did was give one of the roses that the Debbie Smith CTE, Natural Sciences and Animal Sciences and Natural Resources students were raising money for their national competitions, and so gave one of those handmade rose arrangements to every single one of those members, and that's Dr. Jeremy Smith. He's the head of the TMRPA. The third picture, and a few of my colleagues have mentioned it, it's communities and schools. It was the Power Within breakfast. These kids and these stories were just absolutely incredible. There was not a dry eye in the house. So incredibly proud of these kids, and it was a really, really wonderful morning spent with everyone. So congratulations to them, and thank you so much to communities and schools. Earlier this morning, I took a tour of the Community Health Alliance, 2 of their sites on Wells Ave and Sparks in Audie. And I also got to learn about their pilot program where they're providing same-day appointments to students. So clinical aides and nurses at 5 of our schools have a bat line right to them. They make a call. The parents don't have to worry about anything. They go straight to this appointment. And I just thought it was just a really fantastic example. And that was really the brainchild of Mike Kazmierski with Strengthen Our Community, Dr. Paul Lamarca, our chief. Just really, really amazing work. And then, of course, Superintendent Ernst for creating that space for us to do that work. And then last but not least, in my last 30 seconds, last week saw an incredibly special day. I believe it should be a federal holiday. And we've all talked about the police, and there are the people behind all of that amazing marketing. Because last Friday was Government Communicators Day. And we have among the very best government communicators, I think. And I've already recognized her team, but these are for our own Chief Communications and Public Relations Officer, Michelle Anderson. So congratulations. I appreciate you.
Who knew that we existed? I'm going to add just a little bit of color to the wonderful events that so many of us attended. The TMRPA, the Regional Planning Governing Board, our own Chief Operating Officer, Adam Searcy, provided updates to our FMP and our AFMP Facilities Modernization Plan and Administrative Facility Modernization Plan. And communities and schools, I got this off a little card that was at the table, that they have served 11,382 students, and their graduation rate, hold on tight, is 94%. So their work is absolutely making a difference. Thank you, communities and schools. And then to the Nevada chapter of the general contractors, the SUR Awards. What was so impressive to me, and I concur with my trustee, Colleen Westlake, that the room was filled with people that we hire to do our work here on our buildings, our grounds, et cetera, et cetera. And SUR stands for skill
integrity and responsibility. And I just thought that that was a beautiful nod to what they do for our communities. I visited Reno High School and I had the opportunity to present humbly to Brian Carlin's We the People group, who will be going to Washington, D.C. for the national competition for We the People, April 17th through 19th. Gosh, they asked great questions. It was like, the reverse of being a judge. Oh, they were amazing. I visited Turning Point with Principal Bissett, and I will say that she and her team are so dedicated to providing real-world experiences for their students. They're doing a marvelous job. I had the very interesting pleasure and opportunity to visit Grace Warner and Innovations on Thursday, our delayed start day. And I will tell you that it was so wonderful to be with those students, because what I kept hearing from students and teachers and families who I had opportunity to see was that they were so thankful that their students were able to go to school, they were able to be with their friends, they were able to learn, and they were able to have a meal and be in a safe and warm and dry place. And it was just a wonderful opportunity. And then, along with Superintendent Ernst, we presented to the Joint Interim Committee on Education, and it's chaired by our former Washoe County School District trustee, Senator Angela Taylor. And I will tell you that the priorities throughout Nevada are very cohesive, and they have to do with the financial challenges that we will all surmount, because we must for our students, and we all want to continue on the road to improvement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Nicolette, and all board members. Appreciate hearing from you. Item 4.03 is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will go ahead and just recognize just a couple of people. Before I do that, I just want to say thanks to the trustees for being out and about and being able to highlight the great things that are happening. We are trying to write that story. We have great people telling that story, and there's a lot of good things happening in our school district, and it's great to be able to share that. This is our Classroom Impact Award. This is Candia Tolbert, counselor over at Libby Booth. What we do is we try to ask our principals who is making a significant impact in your building on the students and the families, and really kind of a neat something. Ms. Tolbert was really instrumental in the chronic absenteeism, the systematic efforts to address chronic absenteeism, and leading those efforts at the site, and just her investment at the systems level for the school and seeing how beneficial it was. She was really happy to get that award, and it was nice to be able to present it to her as a longstanding Washoe County School District employee. Then the final award is Mrs. Culpepper said, Mr. Ernst, we can't have just one award. Can we please have a second award? We want to recognize Carolina Moran, who's the secretary. And all of you who've been over to Libby Booth know that she is a breath of fresh air when we walk into that building. The way that she greets our families, the way she greets our students. I got there early in the morning, right before the start of the school day, and seeing how she greeted the families as they were trickling in, maybe a couple minutes after the bell rang, and how warmly she was doing that. She was just really pleased to be recognized, and so these are the two people that we just wanted to shine some light on for being really high impact educators in our school district. Outside of that, there was a lot of things mentioned by the trustees. I won't go back into all of those. Appreciate the opportunity to share our classroom impact and our high impact awards.
Yeah, appreciate that opportunity to hear from you, Superintendent Ernst. Thank you very much. Okay, fantastic. We're on final approach here. Go to our closing items. Item 5.01 is public comment. Comments from the public are invited at this time on topics not specifically addressed elsewhere in the agenda. All persons are limited to 3 minutes per item. Do we have any public comment?
Megan Manguso.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Ms. Manguso.
Hi there. Okay. With the events of last week, I thought now would be the time to shed light on this concern. Early in the morning on November 5th, there was a wind and rainstorm that knocked out power for a portion of the Roy-Gom school zone. The school was without power, no alarm systems, phones, or lights in the internal bathrooms that have no windows, no heat. Cell service is also limited. When I confronted the principal on our walk to school asking why families had not been informed that the school was without power, she insisted that the district told her she was not allowed to communicate to families. The estimate from the power company was 1 p.m. for the surrounding neighborhood. The complaint here is not that weather knocked out the power, but that no communication was sent to parents whatsoever alerting them of the condition of the school, and that the information was actively withheld. GOM opens their gates at 9:15 a.m. It was well into the 8 o'clock hour, hours after the power had gone out, that the district finally made a small note on the district website that most parents did not see or understand to look for, especially those who had power at home and would have no reason to think that the school did not. Luckily, shortly before 11 a.m., we did receive an email from the principal stating that power had come back on. In a subsequent PFA meeting, the principal reiterated that the district would not let her send any communication by text or email, even though she had a laptop, a cell phone, which provides wireless hotspot, or the district could have sent the communication on her behalf. Principal Barker also stated that the district reprimanded her for informing parents by email that the power was back on. Teachers at GOM are wonderful, and they handled the situation beautifully. However, the intentional suppression of information regarding the school's condition is deeply concerning and a great cause of distrust of the district, especially when GOM had 3 active shooter lockdowns, not drills, in the previous 15 months, none of which were properly communicated to parents, all of which caused serious panic for many children and parents. When filing a formal complaint about this issue, specifically that they were not communicated with, and that it was the district's intention and direction to withhold the school's condition, the district, even after pushback, would not provide clarity. There was no accountability, as you stated in your address to this board 2 weeks ago, Dr. Ernst. All that was stated was that they will do better the next time. With all due respect, that's not good enough, and that's not accountability. Accountability is taking ownership of the mistakes that were made and providing clarity on the details of those mistakes. Who made the decision to withhold information and not communicate to stakeholders? Why did the district make that decision? Who ultimately approved that decision? It also requires an apology and some sort of explanation of how you will do better next time. The active suppression of information to parents about the condition of a school when children's safety is at greater risk is an egregious misuse of power, and the district should be required to take account for those actions. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
The board received emails from Richard Peterson, Danielle Ossier-Tatar, Abby Cox, and Christina Johnson.
Okay, thank you, JJ. All right, we move to item 5.02, next meeting announcement. Next meeting will be on March 10th, 2026. That'll be the only meeting that we have in the month of March leading up to spring break. It is 4:12 p.m. and 5.03, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you.